It's time to bring you the morning news right here on your nation station, DBS Radio.
It's always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: police officers in a special task force to deal with illegal firearms will undergo the polygraph test. Barbados and other CARICOM nations welcome the UN Security Council's resolution to create new gang suppression force to be deployed in Haiti. And news from the international scene: observers say a Gaza deal looks likely, and the West Indies crashed to an innings defeat in India. Details of the morning news right after this.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Major Morning News. My name is Curtis Matthew. Police officers who are members of the new task force to deal with illegal firearms will undergo a polygraph test. The polygraph test is to determine whether police officers are of the right caliber to operate in the task force. Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, says experts are here in Dominica to conduct the test for police officers.
As a minister who was mandated by law, the formation of the task force to deal exclusively with firearms, that has been established. The whole issue of confronting gun crimes, we have to ensure that members of that task force are of the right caliber so that operations cannot be compromised, or you try to mitigate against the compromising of operations. As we speak, the ministry, of course, the Permanent Secretary will give instruction by the minister to actually, on behalf of the government, to seek assistance for the polygraphing of every police officer in that unit. As we speak, they are on island, and that is being done. I've also given instruction that if you're polygraphing the members of junior ranks in the task force for the firearm, in the drug squad, in special branch, in the various departments, the gazetted officers to whom they report have to be polygraphed also. We have to have that sense of seriousness in law enforcement. And I want to thank our regional partners and international partners for assisting us to providing the professionals who are on island doing the various tests, and because that's critical going forward.
And that's the minister responsible for national security, Rayburn Blackmore. He says another unit has been established as the police intensify efforts to rid the streets of illegal firearms.
I want to also say that we have also established what we call an anti-illicit firearms interagency investigative unit, comprising officers from the FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, the Custom and Excise Duty from the investigative unit, who have been providing tremendous support. And I want to take this opportunity because this fight cannot be fought and won by one set of people. The custom officers, especially those working in the investigative unit, are doing a tremendous job. Through their diligence, a number of firearms are continually being intercepted. We also have established, which I gave approval to a couple weeks ago, a specialized unit for community policing.
And that's the minister responsible for national security, Rayburn Blackmore. Other news this morning: President of the Dominica Association of Teachers, Mervyn Alexander, has called for greater investment to the teaching profession in Dominica. He told the World Teachers' Day rally at Cathedral yesterday that teachers must be regarded as the catalyst in the transformation of the education system.
If we are serious about transforming education, we must first commit to empowering, equipping, and evaluating our teachers. Let us start by acknowledging the extraordinary role that teachers play in shaping the future. A great teacher is not merely an instructor. He or she is a mentor, a guide, a role model, and very often a second parent, and lots more. Teachers do more than impart knowledge. They nurture creativity and critical thinking. They teach students how to question, how to learn, and how to grow. They instill resilience, empathy, and collaboration, skills which are indispensable in this 21st century. And yet, despite the critical role, teachers are too often undervalued, under-resourced, and overburdened. How can we expect transformation in education when those responsible for delivering it are not given the tools, respect, and support that they need? If the transformation of education begins with teachers, then our first step must be to invest in them.
And that's the president of the Dominica Association of Teachers, Mervyn Alexander. The president of the DAT sent out a message to policymakers, school leaders, parents, and teachers.
To the policymakers, I say, craft policies that prioritize teachers' development and well-being. To the school leaders, I say, partner with teachers, involve them in decision-making, trust their experiences and insights. To parents, I say, partner with teachers, support their efforts, and recognize the impact they have on your child's future. And to my fellow teachers, I say, never underestimate the power you hold. You are not just delivering lessons, you are shaping lives, building futures, and transforming the world. If we envision a future that is more equitable, innovative, and compassionate, we must begin by empowering our teachers.
And that's the president of the Dominica Association of Teachers, Mervyn Alexander. Meantime, the Dominica Association of Teachers has recognized several schools and teachers for their performance over the past year. Castlebrue Secondary School was named the most improved school in maths, while St. Mary's Academy took the award for outstanding performance in technical drawing, woodwork, and electricity. Portsmouth Secondary School was named the outstanding school in home economics, and Convent High School the outstanding performer in business. Convent also topped in foreign language, and Northeast Comprehensive the most improved school in English A. Isaiah Thomas Secondary School was named the overall most improved secondary school. Isaiah Thomas was also named the most innovative secondary school. Castlebrue Secondary School was the most consistent school in physical education, while Portsmouth Secondary School topped in natural sciences and Convent in social sciences. St. Mary's Academy took the award for theater arts. The most promising principal in the Southern District is Josette Morancy Langford of Wharton Waven. Manuela Gregoire of the Monjon Primary, the most promising principal in the East. Of course, there are other awards given. The most promising principal in the Western District, Chandler Johnson, formerly of Caleb Laura. Magali Joseph of Collyho, the promising principal in the Northern District. Lisa Mills Thomas, teacher at Portsmouth Secondary School, was also recognized on Friday. Pioneer Prep, St. Martin Primary, Warner, and Mont Prosper were also mentioned for satisfactory performance. The Dominica Association of Teachers also recognized some retired teachers, including Aurelius Gordon of Marigot, Mary Robinson, Octavia Timothy, Margaret Jules Roy, and Hildra Abraham. Other news this morning, a new event for Point Michel has been launched. Creole Ragfest, an initiative of former First Serenade frontman Rohi, is set for October 21, the 22nd and 23rd at Pore in Point Michel. Chairperson of the Point Michel Village Council, Ronelia Williams, has endorsed the event.
As chairperson of the Point Michel Village Council, I am eagerly looking forward to seeing our vendors proudly display their rags alongside the delicious local dishes that reflect the true hospitality and generosity Point Michel offers to every visitor and homeowner. Lapwet is indeed best when it comes to our local cuisine. I am equally excited to witness our talented musicians and dancers showcase traditional music and dances. These are the heartbeat of our community's culture. Lapwet, as we affectionately call it, proudly welcomes Rohi back with this wonderful Ragfest, an initiative that will not only present opportunities for social gathering, but one that will also generate revenue in our community. It is my belief that this will be an incredible celebration that can hopefully be repeated annually by the grace of God.
And that's the chairperson of the Point Michel Village Council, Ronelia Williams. Communication specialist at Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis, says Creole Ragfest will be an added attraction for Dominicans during the Creole season.
Something special is unfolding in Dominica this Creole season. For the very first time, the vibrant coastal and fishing community of Point Michel will make history by hosting the inaugural Creole Ragfest from October 21st to Thursday, October 23rd. This new celebration promises 3 unforgettable nights of music, culture, and community spirit. More than just an event, Creole Ragfest marks the beginning of a new cultural tradition, one that is led by our people, rooted in our community, and shared with the world. At the heart of this initiative is Rohi, one of Dominica's most exciting rising stars and the driving force behind the Creole Ragfest. Through his vision and dedication, Rohi has curated a stellar lineup of performers, promising high energy, authentic Creole vibes, and a world-class experience in the heart of his community.
Communication specialist at Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis. Manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph, says DBS is proud to collaborate with the organizers of Creole Ragfest.
When the invitation was given to DBS Radio through Rohi Williams, I immediately took advantage to be part and parcel of an event which will not only bear fruits for Rohi, but it will eventually bear fruits for the whole of Dominica. When we hear the word rag, those of us who are old enough would understand the value of rag. So some of us were brought up understanding what rags did for us. It clothed us. Yes, to some, it may have dwindled the pride, but for many, it has given us reason to survive. And based on that, DBS Radio saw the need of helping in the promotion, the advertising, and making the awareness to the rest of Dominica and the region of a new fete. We will remember also when the World Creole Music Festival came on board, that it was a new fete in 1997. Today, it is an established fete.
And that's the manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph. Other news this morning, 5 firearms have been confiscated during ongoing operations of the Dominica Police Force in collaboration with the Regional Security System, RSS. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Aline Maxime, says a zero-tolerance approach will be exercised as the police go after those with illegal firearms.
Members of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, with the support from the regional security system, have been engaged in exercises island-wide. To date, we have recovered 5 firearms and a sum of money which was seized for the purpose of investigations. The operation will continue. I must remind you that it is an offense to have any unlicensed firearm, any illegal firearm in your possession. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is not going to tolerate and will not tolerate any person who has in his or her possession a firearm without the prescribed license. We will not spare the police force, members of the police force will not spare any effort in finding those persons and dealing with them in keeping with the provisions of the law.
And that's the Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Aline Maxime. Well, that's news from the nation. Let's head into news from the region now. Barbados and other CARICOM nations have welcomed the UN Security Council's September 30 resolution to create a new gang suppression force of up to 5,500 troops to be deployed in Haiti. The mission is aimed at tackling armed gangs, restoring stability, and preparing the way for elections in Haiti. Barbados' UN Ambassador Francois Jackman, speaking for CARICOM, called the decision a critical first step towards election, humanitarian aid, rebuilding institutions, and long-term economic development. He stressed that CARICOM will support the effort and urge the international community to act with bold resolve to end the violence and suffering. Finally, this morning, the families of the Israeli hostages say they are in decisive days for a deal after Hamas says it agrees to release all remaining hostages in Gaza. Hamas asked for further negotiations on a number of issues outlined in the U.S. peace plan, while failing to address key aspects of it. The U.S. President Donald Trump says Israel is preparing to immediately implement the first phase of the peace plan. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's news. Don't go away. The sports report comes up shortly.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from MBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your mobile banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
It's over. Cotton Bold. Kuldeep Yadav takes the final wicket. And India win the test match by an innings and 140 runs. to go 1-up in the 2-match series. That one bouncing off his chest, back into his hand. That's all over. India finishing things off quickly and bowling out West Indies once again in less than 2 sessions.
Another disappointing showing from the West Indies with the bat as they crashed to an innings defeat to India in the first test match inside 3 days this morning. India declared their first innings overnight on 448 for 5, and the West Indies had no answer to the Indian spin. They were quickly 5 wickets down at lunch. They didn't last much longer post-lunch and were dismissed for 146. Alec Athenaeus top scored with 38, Justin Graves made 25, Jadeja picked up 4 for 54, Mohammad Siraj 3 for 31. The final scores, the West Indies 162 and 146, India 448 for 5 declared. India won by an innings and 140 runs. Here is the West Indies captain, Ruston Chase.
Obviously, when you win the toss on bat first and you get bowled up for 160 odd, especially within the first day, it's always going to be tough to come back from that. And then obviously they scored a lot of runs, so yeah, it was not a performance that we were looking for. I mean, obviously we have to bat better. I think, especially in India, you have to put a big first innings total on the board, especially with the ball spinning and pitch deteriorating and going to the 4th and 5th day. I think that's where we really fall down. That's something we need to look at.
India got a very good first innings. Would you have done anything different? Just going by what happened with the taking of the second new ball, it was delayed quite a bit. Would you have done anything differently over there?
No, I didn't think the timing was off. I just thought that when we did take the second new ball, we didn't make the batsman play enough. With that hard new ball, I think we need to test the batsman technique a bit more, try to see if we can nick them off and probably bowl a bit more at the stumps.
A lot of time to introspect between now and the second test match. What are the other areas where you would like to improve?
Well, the batting is the main problem. I mean, you only have 2 batsmen out there at the time, and in the field you have all 11 players out there, so it's a bit easier as a fielding unit and a bowling unit. But I think it's just for the batsmen out there to form those partnerships. I think we probably didn't even get any 50-run partnerships, and in cricket it's partnerships whether you're batting or bowling. I just think we need to string some batting partnerships together, and that will make it easier for us.
West Indies captain Ruston Chase, India's captain Shubman Gill.
Honestly, I think this was a perfect game for us. 3 centurions in the game, and I think we fielded really well in both the innings. So honestly, don't really have any complaints.
And for yourself personally, as a skipper, it was a tough test to England, which the entire team and the young team came out with flying colours. What have you learned about yourself as a captain going forward for the Indian team?
So many things, it's hard to pin down to 1 or 2 things that I learned, but I think over a period of 2 years, how we bonded as a team and how we got ourselves out from tough situations and difficult situations, that was really pleasing for me to see. And this is we are still a learning side, and I think as long as we keep learning from our experiences that we have, I think we're going to be on the positive side of the match.
India's captain Shubman Gill. The second test match begins on Friday. Meantime, the Indian captain Shubman Gill is set to be appointed India's new one-day captain, replacing Rohit Sharma, and will lead the side in the 3-match series starting in Australia on October 19. Gill, who is only 26 years, now holds former leadership roles in all 3 formats as test and one-day captain and vice-captain of the T20 squad. Let's move across to football now. The former DFA Premier League side, Bathurst FC, are just 2 wins away from a return to the Premier League after they hammered Marigot FC to book a spot in the quarterfinals of the DFA Division 1 League last night. Bathurst, who were relegated last season, continued with their undefeated run in the Division 1 League, cruising to victory in their round of 16 matchup last night at the DFA Technical Center. Bathurst took the match by 7-1. The round of 16 continues today with Kalibishi FC playing ACS Tarish United SC at the Benjamin's Park, while at the DFA Technical Center, it's the Do It Center Mighty Avengers taking on Warner FC. Both games will get underway at 6:30. Let's go back to cricket news. Interesting clash on the cards this morning as the Central Cooperative Credit Union DCA Intermediate Cricket League continues this morning. The Nagico Northern Stars will meet the Police Sports Club as that tournament continues at Botanic Gardens. The Police Sports Club, they're unbeaten so far this season, having won their first 2 matches, while the Nagico Northern Stars are yet to register a win for the season. The tournament will also continue Sunday with the Jungle Bay Hurricanes playing the Lapwet Tigers at Geneva Playing Field, and at the Botanic Gardens, KFC Summits up against the Dubla team. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom says one of the main criteria to qualify for a retainer contract was the likelihood of representing the West Indies during the current cycle. His comments after the West Indies announced international retainer contracts for 15 players this week. A number of players, including Dominicus Cavem Hodge, Joshua De Silva, Tevin Imlach, and Craig Brathwaite, were overlooked.
With regards to international retainer contracts, the primary consideration for the award of international retainer contracts is the likelihood of being a part of West Indies teams in the upcoming contract period. So it's purely on the likelihood to play. But what we must also remember is that our contract framework it goes beyond just international retainer contracts. We have 90 regional franchise contracts. So all of the players that would have been in that exercise where we were searching for a West Indies test captain, 3 of them, as you mentioned, would be in the international retainer contract list, and the other 3 are among the 90 regional franchised contract lists. So we cannot look at it strictly as the 15 players who have international retainer contracts. We have 105 retained players across the region who we expect to be viable West Indian players.
And that's Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom. Let's stay with cricket news. Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow says the Cricket West Indies has to be prepared to make tough decisions for the benefit of West Indies cricket. Dr. Shallow's comments follow the immediate and long-term reforms that came from the Emergency Strategy Committee meeting, which was held in August. The committee highlighted 10 critical challenges facing West Indies cricket, including the declining quality of regional tournaments, technical, tactical, and mental skills deficiencies, and an underperforming franchise system.
I think that we understand that, being a successful organization requires us to be extremely calculated and measured with our approach. And we need to be persistent, stay true to those things that we know are best practices. And sometimes it comes with difficult decisions, certainly difficult situations require difficult decisions, and so we have to stay true to what our focus is. And so we recognize the success in cricket, like any strategic planning, requires deliberate and persistent effort over time. So over the strategic plan timeline, 2024 to 2027, we would have anticipated different scenarios and realize that there are times we're going to be celebrating and there are other times they're going to be very difficult and they're going to require special intervention and decision-making, tightening of the belt, and so on.
Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow. And some domino news, another exciting weekend on the cards as the Julius Timothy Independence Domino Tournament continues this weekend. Here is the league coordinator, Delvin Esprit.
Round 2 and 3 of the Julius Timothy Independent Domino Competition will be played this weekend
On Saturday at 6 p.m., BS Stars travel to Tibo to play Roadblock. Badside will host White City in Mahu. Non-players travel to Brantford to play Babdad. Royals will be at home in Marigot versus Brigade Stars. Focus travel to Vickers to play Itassi Stars. Wake Up Stars will travel to River Civic to play NATO Full Effects. Brutal Forces will be in Granby versus Roadside. And Massey Square will meet West Coast Credit Union, Jerry Adrian Valiance in Mopac. And on Sunday, in a big match, Brutal Forces will travel to Portsmouth to play Wake Up Stars. BS Stars will host Focus in Ansdime. NATO Full Effects will meet Roadside in Portsmouth. Babdad travel to Marigot to play Warriors. Brigade Stars host non-players in Peebush. Massey Square travel to Brantford to play White City. Roadblock hosts Itassi in Tibo. And Badside travel to Kulibishi to play West Coast Credit Union, Jerry Adrian Valiance. Delvin Esprit reporting.
Thank you very much, Delvin Esprit, for your report on sports this morning. That too is a look at the DBS Major Morning News and Sports. We'll be back at 1:15 for another news and sports bulletin. And let's remind you too that at 9 o'clock this morning, we bring you Connecting the Dots. Nigel Francis will find Ivona John Baptist, Luge, Somia Rong Dominica. They will come together to bring you the program Connecting the Dots. You don't want to miss that program this morning at 9 o'clock. And of course, as we said, there is news at 1:15. Coming up very soon, the insert of the package. If you listen to the news, you may want to think that you know which is the insert that made the most impact on the news. We call it the insert of the package, but that's the call of Joseph Fadul. He will listen to the inserts. He has done that. He will now select the best insert in this package. That comes up very soon on DBS Radio. On behalf of the News and Sports Department and our link person, Joseph Fadul, Curtis Matthew saying good morning.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from MBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Let's now bring you the insert of the package. This morning's edition of the insert of the package is brought to you compliments of our wonderful friends at A&A Low Price Center.
A&A Low Price Center in the village of Calabishi offers the best prices for the freshest products ever. One-stop convenient shopping at A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi. For your foods, your everyday needs, snacks, liquor, dry goods, and more. Just about everything located in the flat of Calabishi, directly in the center of the village. Come to A&A Low Price Center on the highway in Calabishi. A&A Low Price Center is family owned and operated. It is fully computerized, VAT compliant, low tow, credit card and top-up capabilities. Stop at A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi today or call 445-7655. Drop us an email at aanalowprice@gmail.com. A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit us today. Just walk in and be happy you did.
And this morning's insert of the package will come from the morning news, where police officers who are members of a new task force to deal with illegal firearms will undergo a polygraph test. The polygraph test is to determine whether police officers